nerds, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day. I am joined today by John from Talking Story, of course, my good friend, and the half of the wonderful YouTube channel Talking Story, and of course, co-author of Discovery. And he's here. We're here today to talk about Romantasy.
Yes, this is big. This is big. You were on my channel. You had just done a video and you said you wanted to get into it. So I kind of cornered you. And gave you no way out. And said for Valentine's Day, we'll do it. Well, buddy, and you picked this book. So there is absolutely no pressure on me.
Well, it's like, I mean, I did pick the book, but I didn't. A friend picked this for me, and then I picked it for us. So I didn't know anything about it, but I do want to know, was this actually your first Romantasy, John?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm a softie. If you split and get down to the center, it's gooey, right? So there was this, and it was before Romantasy. It was before that was even a thing. But there was this series, and I was much younger, and it was by Sharon Shin, and it was called like the Angel series. And I think I read all of those, and it was very romantic. It was very romantic, and I loved it. I love that. I think I love literature because it lets you feel things, and there's nothing more important than the connection and love and that kind of thing. So I'm a softie. I love it. I haven't done a lot of it lately, but I did that way back in the day. So I was excited.
Okay, but this is like your kind of first, like more modern Romantasy then?
100%.
Okay, because I found out a book I read and loved like 15 years ago is now being shelved as Romantasy. You know what I mean?
What is it?
Like,
yeah.
I guess I have. And then I had to read the SPFBO one. So technically this isn't like my first, but it's the first one like I actively chose.
Right.
So I feel like
I'm gonna put all my chips out, Bookborn, and say I like this more than you. I think my center is gooier than yours. That's all I'm gonna say when it comes to romance.
No, this is great. Okay, so you had already predicted that though. Like in your like update, I think it was last month when you told people, or whenever it was, that you told people you're going to read this. You already predicted you were going to like it more than me.
Yeah.
And then today, at least I watched it today, you released a video saying that after reading it, you're like almost 100% positive you liked it more than me. Where is that coming from, John, before we get into
it? We'll get it. I know we're going to go spoiler free, so I'm not going to throw anything out there right away.
Spoilers at the end. I feel like we're going to have to at some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
There were some things that I really hated. I'm just going to say I really hated. And I found it addictively readable. Like I kind of put it like this. I call it a Snicker bar read. And it was one of those because I'm on a long trip. I pull off. I have to gas up. I'm going to get a Snicker bar. I've had 5 million Snicker bars in my life. I'm still going to get one when I go into that gas station. Did it reinvent anything? Was it pushing boundaries of any way, shape, or form? No, but you know what? Hey,
Snicker bars are always good.
Snickers satisfies. There's stuff I hate about it, but I think maybe I was supposed to.
Well, I guess before we get into that, I guess we should say, like, I don't know how you feel about it as a genre. Like, for me, everyone knows I'm kind of like the worst, I guess. Like, I'm a hater. I don't know what people want to say. I'm just not like very romantic as a person. So I've had bad experiences trying that stuff, but I don't like to be left out. I want to try what everyone's loving. So, like, I want to be clear that I didn't go into this. I don't love how people are going into reading Romantasy to just trash on it. So, like, I want to say that at first, like, neither of us went into this.
Oh, no. Yeah,
no,
not
like,
at all.
I actually want to find Romantasy I enjoy. That is, like, actually something I'm searching for because as a reviewer, I want to understand how to better recommend to people who love Romantasy. Like, what do you love about it? Because I get asked for recommendations a lot, and it's like, if I don't understand that genre, I don't know. So,
right.
I think we should say that, right?
Popular.
We both went into this With open minds and hearts.
Yes, I absolutely wanted to have a good time. I expected to have a good time, and I did. Overall, I had a good time.
What
And
what
like I
was your
said, when
star
I
rating?
finished, I was ready to pick up book 2. I really was.
Oh, okay. So what was your star rating?
Oh, I don't you're going to make me give a star rating?
It doesn't have to be official. I just for vibes, like just so we can kind of go into this conversation knowing where we stand.
I'm going to say I'm somewhere between a 3.5 a 3.75.
Okay. Like that's enough to want to pick up the second one. I've picked up
Yes.
second ones, yeah, in there. Okay, great. I rated this book a 1 star. John, I hated it. I hated every
I
second of it. I
I
hated it
see that.
so
I
much.
Oh my gosh, I love the way the straight face. I rated this a 1 star. You okay.
I warned my friend, by the way. She's the only one who really knows. Like I texted her and she was like, "That's fine. I knew it was a gamble." But yeah.
Oh my
I,
gosh.
I
All right, we
actually
have to
am gonna have
talk.
very almost nothing positive to say about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm following your lead. How do you want to start? What do you want to go by categories? Do you just want I mean, what? It's more than a 1 star. It's more than a 1 star. That's harsh.
I that, John, I don't know what to tell you. I was so angry the entire time I was reading
Here's
this.
the thing. I was angry too. Maybe we should get into what made us angry because I bet
Okay.
it was the same thing. And I think it was somewhat planned. It was
Okay.
just maybe too much and uh, overcommitted and too much,
Yeah,
too
you know
much.
what? I will say this. It's actually not the romance I had a problem with. Like, yes, we can talk about it. There was some trite things that aren't like my favorite, but I actually think on the surface, I told my friend, like, I think this was a good recommendation for me in terms of like, there was other stuff going on. Like, it
Yes,
wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, there was
yes,
a
I do.
plot.
Yes,
There was way more outside of the romance, which I think
yes,
in general, if it wasn't this other problem, which I'll tell you, would have really worked for me. Like, I appreciated that. There was actually other stuff.
yes. And okay, are we? I don't. Are we getting into spoilers? Or what do we want to start
Let's keep
saying?
it let's keep it high level for a second.
Okay,
Can
high
you say what
level.
you're going to say high level?
Yes, I can. There are things I really, really liked about this book, and I took notes about it. It's like I love the world building.
Mm.
I think the world building that pushes the characters to some uh, really desperate forms of conflict. I think the world building that really gets to this explosive point in their society. And I think there's all those kind of things going on that are not just the romance. I mean, the romance is there and it's interwoven through it, but there's more going on. And I found that fascinating. And I found several of the characters' journeys and arcs fascinating. So there's a lot more going on and there's good stuff going. The world building I think was the star of the show for me.
Yeah, my first note I actually made in my notebook was just like the world itself I think had a lot of cool elements, but
Hmm.
it isn't introduced to you in a very natural way, which kind of bothered me. Like at the very beginning, it's so info dumpy in a very unnatural format. Did you
This,
notice that?
this is the first note I took, and it was this is a oh hey it's you book because she's walking down the street and every time she turns a corner it's oh hey it's you who's going to tell me exactly what I need to know and what's going on, and I'll turn another corner and it's like oh hey it's you who I'm going to overhear and explode my whole worldview of who I am and what's going on and be a inciting incident for the and it happened over and over. I'm a doctor and who's going to come into my clinic? Oh hey it's you who I need to hear from to do the next plot point and the next, and that happened over and over and over again. I started thinking, are there 5 people in this town and it's only the 5 people that we need to move this plot forward? So yeah, that I absolutely made the same first note.
Yeah, because it was just kind of like she'd see a building and then it would be
Mm,
like, oh, in my thoughts, I'm going to think of the natural history of everything. And I just thought there's like, you don't need all of that info. Like, I think she gave
yeah.
us a lot of info. And that happens a lot in other books where like I can tell the author's excited to explain their world to you. but I definitely prefer more of the explorative. Like, I don't need to be told everything. So I think already at the beginning, that was tough for me.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was quite info dumpy in the beginning.
And it was a lot of information, which was also kind of stressful because you're like,
Hmm.
how much of this do I really need to like internalize right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I guess actually, I'm always so bad at this. Should we give like a summary? Like, I mean, should we give like this is about a girl
Yeah.
and they live in this world where I believe like gods came down
Yes.
and they had children with humans and they're now called the what? Why is my brain blanking?
The Descended.
The descended.
Right.
And those descended have powers and they kind of it's like a caste system and they
Hmm.
rule everything and the humans are second class and now they have outlawed the descended can't have children with regular mortals because they don't want them to have the magical powers and they kill
Well,
any
it's
babies born.
yeah, it's a bit of eugenics really to keep the bloodlines
Yes.
pure and to keep most of the magic that they possibly can. They can't do intermingling. So if there is a baby born from a Descended, it's a death sentence for the child. So again, more than just the romance, there's some true darkness going on here.
Yes. And
Um,
that's really actually the main plot. It's really about how our main character is interacting with that and
yeah,
how the people in her life and kind of like the simmering uh
civil
resentment,
unrest and how it's
obviously.
growing. Yeah.
Yes, the oppression
Mhm.
and how it's growing and the revolution. And so I will say like that part I liked conceptually. Like our
Yes.
character actually had like motivation, like things for her to do that was not romance related almost at all.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
she's a
agree with.
healer,
And she is a
uh,
healer. Yeah. Yeah.
a doctor, I guess, a regular
Hmm.
healer. And I mean, the book was predictable. I predicted pretty much everything.
Yeah. Again, it's a Snicker bar. I knew exactly. I knew it was going to be packed with peanuts. I knew what I was going to get with every bite, and yet I still enjoyed picking it up and reading it.
Okay. I didn't. Like this is the funny thing is like when you messaged me and you're like, "Oh, I haven't started, but it's going to be such a fast read." I was like, I was like bribing myself. Like, read
Oh
a
my god.
chapter,
Yeah.
here's your reward. Read another chapter, here's your reward. Like
So
it
like
took
you
me
would
a
literally
long time.
like I'll take myself out for a slushy. But if I have to read a chapter first.
Yes. It was like I get a treat. Okay, I read it. I get to go check Instagram. Okay, I read a chapter,
Oh,
which is
Hiller. Oh, book porn. I can't believe that.
I
Okay.
know. We should maybe we'll just get into spoilers. Who cares? If anyone's watching this, they probably don't care.
Yeah.
So that was my first note. What's your next note? I guess we should go with your next note since our first notes were the same.
Okay. Here's what really this is the first thing. The throughout the book, the thing that really made me angry over and over again was the
Oh, okay.
lead female protagonist of DM.
She's literally the worst person I've ever met in my entire life.
Here's the problem with, and I think we were
That's why I
supposed.
hated this book.
I know, and I knew because so much of it kind of goes with, oh, hey, it's you, right?
Mhm.
It seems like not only does she not have her own agency, she's just led from one moment to the next without making a decision. It
Mm.
almost starts to get to the point where she's she's one of those types of people that's going to be whoever's in front of her wants her to be. And I just,
Mm.
you know, I understand we're starting at the beginning of a character arc, and I understand she's in a world she's been thrust into and she's maybe not found herself. She's a very young person. And I get all that. And I wanted to get in on that and start to see her become something else. But then the book went on and it went on and it went on. And there were moment after moment after moment when it's like, you've got to have more. You've got to have more self than that. You can't just over and over again get yourself in this position. I'm on this side of the civil unrest. No, I might really be on this side. I'm, and just you've got to. Our protagonist has to stand for something, and to do that, they have to have enough of a self to know what they will stand for. and it just seemed like we never got there with Diem. And that's, I think that's what really fueled a lot of my anger with the book and the problems that I had with the book. But I think it was intended. I think that will probably change as the series goes on. I think that's just a starting place for her. And I think the tragedy she goes through the book is that catalyst for that kind of change, because she does go through quite a lot.
Yeah. So that's where we disagree, John, is like, I have a lot of problems, but I don't think the narrative thinks they're problems because I have no problem with flawed characters. I am the number one Catelyn Stark defender.
Oh, I
I
love that.
am, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of like, I just got done. I was thinking a lot of live ship traders,
Mm-hmm.
which you've read that, right?
I have read Farseer, but not Live
Oh,
Ship.
you've read Farseer. Okay,
Yeah.
well, my girl Althea,
Mm-hmm.
she's got problems. I love her.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people. I feel like my issue was this is that we did have a flawed main character, but the narrative and book treats her as if they are not flaws. And
Yeah.
nothing bothers me more than that. Like, so if you were right, and I knew for a fact that the author was like, oh no, I made DM like this on purpose because she needs to grow. I still don't know if I'd like the book, but I think it would help me a little bit. Cause like for me, she seemed that typical YA strong girl that I really dislike, where it's
Yeah.
like she has all of this sassiness for
Mm-hmm.
literally no reason sometimes. I called it, she has so much anger with ignorance. Like she's
Mm.
ignorant about so much and angry. Now, that's a really interesting flaw to me. Like to be angry but ignorant,
Yes.
like
And
that's great.
I
But
remember being a young guy, and I think I had some of that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think it's very common actually. Like to
yeah.
be young and angry and ignorant, but I don't think it's explored in a meaningful way. Instead, I feel like the narrative wants me to be on her side. And all I
Yeah.
could think of is like, you're literally the worst person I've ever met. Every decision you make is so selfish, but
Yeah.
then you're like self-pitying like you're not selfish. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, I couldn't handle it, John.
Yeah. And it got okay. Are we in full spoilers? Because it got
We're in
bad.
full spoilers.
Okay.
Just go
So
for
it
it.
got bad. Like, okay, in these moments where again she's a healer and she would look at her trainee, and I can't remember the trainee's name, and
Yeah.
the trainee is kind of edging into the revolutionary, that these
Yes.
folks that are trying to
I
rise
actually, that
up.
was, again, started it super interesting. Uh-oh, these two
Yes.
healers recognize.
Right. But
Yeah.
then even her trainee does not cross these lines that DM crosses. Oh, let me tell you where and it just like comes out like she has some kind of word vomit and she's not even thinking, oh, you know what? I know where a secret entrance is. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. What was that? Who
But
was
like,
that?
see, I think that would be okay if it's treated like a flaw. But like, my issue was like, it was more confusing to me because DM would be like, I guess I'm leaving healing behind because I just killed all these people. And I was like,
But
oh, what an
that's at the
interesting
very
choice.
end.
But
Before
then
that,
but then in the next scene, she'll be like, oh, I'm still a healer. And I'm like, wait, wait.
yeah.
I thought we were.
Yeah. And it happened over and over again when her longtime high school flame, for lack of a better word, or childhood, beau,
What was his
asks
name?
her to marry him. I can't remember his name. He
Was
was
it Oliver?
no, it wasn't Oliver.
I swear.
um, and she's like, "Oh, let me think about it." It's like, you know what? Just say no. You don't love this guy. What are you doing? Like,
I
what
mean,
are you
I'll say
doing?
this, like, I do appreciate that the author isn't trying to stretch that out. Like, I feel like the author made it clear DM doesn't like him. I don't know. I Here's the thing, like, okay, I blanked. I had something to say. I was going to ask you if you thought something about what she did, and I now literally just went blank. Oh, I remember now. I want to ask you, like, one thing I don't know how the narrative is going to fix is DM's involvement in the revolution,
Yeah.
because you have this really weird thing where, like, she's responsible because she gave that secret entrance. She's
Mm-hmm.
responsible for killing a bunch of people, and she feels really bad and is like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oliver, I don't know his name,
We'll
her
go with
childhood
Oliver.
lover, who I'm now saying is Oliver. He's like, well, you can't have revolutions and change without people getting hurt.
Right.
And I think that was an interesting conversation. But then it's like, she's also going to have a romance with one of the people they're trying to take down.
And
And
okay, check me because I'm a big doofy guy. Okay. The romance with the big descended guy, Luther, I believe was his name.
Luther is his name. I wrote down his name.
Okay. Um, I just had no heat for them. I just didn't get it. I did not get it. It came so
John, so
fast and from nowhere and for no reason. I just didn't
well,
understand.
let me tell you, John, she was sassy. That's the
I
only, she
get
was
that.
sassy. So now he's madly in love with her.
But why is she madly in love? Like the first time she sees him, he touches her elbow or something and it burns. Like I mean, look,
John, 1 star. That's
I'm a big
1 star
doofy guy.
behavior.
I'm married to someone that I had love at first sight with. I get it. I totally do. It just wasn't portrayed in a way that I got it with these two. I just didn't feel it. I did not feel that
That's
heat.
so fair because, like, Zach called his mom the first night we met.
Yeah.
And that, like, so I feel like there is a way you can really, like, have it.
Absolutely.
But I can't believe this sentence is going to come out of my mouth. But I think one of the big problems, and I was immediately upset when I saw it was going this way. I think the youth call him a shadow daddy. And I am not into the shadow daddy thing.
Okay.
Have you heard that phrase, John? I think
I
that's what
have
the
not
TikTok
heard
calls
this
it.
term, but I gotta get, yeah.
Brooding,
Oh, he was brooding.
mysterious, angry,
Yeah.
dangerous. That is, never me. Any
He
romance
was
I've
all
ever
that.
liked, that is never, ever the archetype I like.
No, I would, you know what? You want someone that'll make you laugh and someone that has some self-deprecating humor about themselves and sees the world in a, I just didn't get it. I just did
No,
not
me
get it.
neither. Yeah, I'm not rooting for them at all. And the
No,
worst
not
part
at
is, like,
all.
the second she meets him, you know that that's the romance, and you're just like,
Yeah.
but why?
Yeah. And you know it because again, it's a Snicker bar and I got a mouthful of peanuts. Like, it. And it's just like, no, I don't get it. And I
I
didn't
mean, I
through the
did
whole book.
write, if she ends up with Luther, that's so trite, but that is a staple of the genre, so I can't criticize it too much.
Yeah.
Except for the fact, like, I think, I don't know. I'm thinking of books, like, I think there is a way, like you said, to do love at first sight or interest at first sight, but I will never understand well, he was mean to me and she was mean to me, and that was why it was love at first sight. I just don't think that's how it happens.
Yeah. And he was mean.
Yeah. And not interesting.
No,
Like,
no.
like he was so bland. Like, what do you know about Luther after the end of this book?
He likes black. He has long hair. He makes her elbow burn.
Does he have long hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I actually thought she had way more in common and like more of a shorthand for communication and stuff with, I guess we're calling him Oliver. I feel bad because that's not his name, but
No, I feel like I should look it up.
And I'm with you. There were the moments.
It's
like
Henry.
This book, what?
It's Henry. I don't feel like Oliver was super far off. I feel like
Henry is it. But I did really like those scenes between her and Henry when they're really looking at the societal woes. And it's like, what are you talking about? Why are you running off to save them when there's a fire that we started at this factory? That factory was created to kill tons of our children that they don't even blink when they kill. People are going to die. It's going to be them. I thought you were with us to make it not us and make it them. You can't have both sides. And it was actually a very cogent argument. It actually had weight to it. And
that's my problem. I think his argument was so good. I do not know how the future narrative is going to spin it in favor of DM getting with that guy.
Well, it's gonna spin it because that guy, now that he's king because his father died, is going to want to bring change himself. And
but he's not king. She is.
Well, you're right, but he will be her consort, and he will be all
Yeah.
in on making the change. That's why. That's as we go forward, he has to.
I mean that is what it's going to be, but it's like you can't give the person you want to be wrong too good of an argument. And Henry had like way too good. And like you're right. Henry and hers chemistry was way better.
I
Now,
thought so. Yeah.
I don't hate a plot point of like outgrowing someone. Like, well, are you the safe
Sure.
person I've been with my whole life?
Yeah.
But if you're going to introduce to me another love interest, they need to also be interesting.
Yeah, I would agree. He was just a bland shadow daddy. Now that I'm
He
going
was
to
a
use that
bland
term.
shadow daddy. I
Yeah,
taught you
yeah,
a new
yeah,
phrase
yeah.
that we
He
might
was
not be
like,
using correctly because I don't know.
I don't know. It feels good when I say it. It has to be correct.
I kept thinking of books that do it better because I was like, this is a very Hunger Games-esque kind of thing where you have the childhood friend. I'm assuming you've experienced Hunger Games.
I've read the first. I've
Okay.
read the first one. Yeah.
Okay. You have a childhood friend and then you have someone else.
Right.
And I'm like, it was just way more natural over those three books because I understood why her and Peta would have a connection. Whereas in this book, like we said, like I just don't understand. And I think from what I know, Romantasy readers correct us. I'm not trying to speak for you because I shouldn't. But I do think like that might just be a staple that people really like. Like the mysterious kind of instant love, I think is just a trope that some people really enjoy and I don't.
I mean, I completely see Luther as that cover model on so many of these books that I've seen on the eye. Like he is the definitive.
Shirtless,
Yes, completely. He's the full
big tattoo
Fabio.
on his stomach, six
Oh,
pack.
he's the full Fabio completely. So like I completely get that. But again, your 1 star is too harsh because you do have this
For me, John.
you do have this very interesting world that's set up in this ring that if you go one way, it's almost it borrows a little bit from Dante's Descent if you go all the way around, all the way to like the darkest part of it. And you have this faith-based thing where these deities come down and have caused this schism to their society and then tried alternate history to wipe out even the names of their towns have been changed. You're completely looking at propaganda and the use of that to wipe out your own culture, which we've seen over and over again in our world. And then you have this fomenting civil unrest that you would have in this society. And you have these cogent arguments, not even by Henry, not only from Henry, but from her dad when he's saying, yeah, I'm in the military for the descendant, but I'm saving lives by doing this. And it's you can find merit in each and every one of these arguments, right? Mm-hmm. So it is a pretty nuanced look at the society through this world building. There's more going on here. It does have problems. I have problems with the main protagonist, and I've got some other problems I can bring up. But 1 star, my goal is to bring you up a little bit. 1 star is a bit too low for the book.
I just think like I agree with you that the ideas are all there, but I do not think the writer was strong enough to bring them to life necessarily. Like the way it's so info dumpy and the way the narrative wants me to be on the side of DM when I'm just decidedly not. Like I have another note here. Like, when she joins the revolution and they're like, you have to take this job because you can just get into the palace. This is great.
Right.
And her plan was to run. And
I
was
have
like,
the exact same note. DM is the worst spy ever.
And like, she doesn't get punished enough. I wanted people to be like, you're an effing idiot.
Yeah.
But it's just glossed over.
Yeah. She is the worst spy of all time. Like, this is the worst plan.
I want that to be a plot point. But instead, it just feels like we gloss over it. Like, we're not supposed to think she's an idiot. Like, I think we're supposed to think she's smart.
Well, and it even goes a little bit deeper than that, Bookborn, because look, here's I have this note. This was a problem area for me because there's a long history in our culture, World War II and otherwise, where there have been some phenomenal female spies, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, through France and through other places. So I was thinking, oh, we might get some juicy moments here, some good stuff here. And then her plan was ditch my backpack and run to it. Like, how is this ever going to work? Like I'm a bad spy and I see this won't work, right? But my other problem also of this was Henry getting her in on this. And you start on this road trip they're taking to pick up her medical supplies. And he's very protective of her. And he's asking her, let's make this official. Let's get married. And this is how I feel about you. And then when it comes time to like, yeah, here's your first mission, go into the palace. Like, this book would be over at page 123. She'd be dead. They would have killed her. If they're
Yes.
really the threat that they
Yes.
are, that they're portrayed to be, she would
Yes.
be dead. And Henry threw her to the wolves.
Yes.
And several times these characters go against the character that you had set them up to be to move the plot where the writer needed the plot to go to. And that was a little bit of an issue for me.
Yes, so I agree. Like I just feel like a lot of times characters didn't act consistently because I thought like Henry's excited about it, but he's very protective. And then suddenly you're right, like he's not. And then they
Yeah.
were like, wow, we didn't expect no one successful on their first foray. And she's
Right.
so successful. And then her next plan is to run. Like it was just a lot. And even just little things like how come every single guard that exists is like a gross groper? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just so little nuance there. Like I feel like I really like worlds that feel rich and it's like, oh, so like literally everybody just objectifies you. Like you have one castle guard character and that's the only one you could write.
Yeah. Except for Luther was quite the gentleman.
That scene was the worst. What are you talking about? The scene where he pats her down instead. I wanted to kill myself, John. I was like, there was no coming back from that. I was in agony.
It's because there was no heat.
Derogatory.
There was no heat between them.
No, they wanted us to believe it, but
I wasn't buying
no.
it.
Before we get to your like better conversation, I do have a very petty complaint.
Okay.
But
Oh, I can't wait for it.
I am convinced this author has never met a child because the way she wrote children was super bizarre.
Yeah.
I have two specific examples. So she talks about her brother, DM's brother,
Mm-hmm.
who has a crush on one of the descendant. He gets to go to his fancy descendant school, even though he's human, and his crush is Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in the book, they say that he's 17. So I
Mm-hmm.
assume you find out later that I'm right, that she's 16. But at the time, I thought she was his age and 17. And then the scene when she's healing Lily,
Mm-hmm.
she is talking to Lily like she is 6 years old.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
thought
notice that?
Lily
I
was.
was very confused.
Me too. I didn't think this was the crush because I thought it was like, oh, this is a child. Like,
Luther is holding a 16-year-old and cradling her in his arms.
yeah, it's.
And then she's like, don't worry, the medicine doesn't have any worms in it. Ha 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 ha. And I'm like, if you said that to a 16-year-old, she'd be like, what are you saying? If you said that to my 11-year-old, he'd be like, I'm not 4.
Yeah.
John, you had to admit
Okay.
that was wild.
All right. You're going to make my score come down, or I'm going to make your score come up. Here,
Okay.
everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I don't
Okay.
think her dialogue per se is a great strength, but I think when her dialogue does ring true is in these moments where you're really looking at the nuanced philosophical angst these people are going through of how they need
like
to
her dad
live in
and
this world.
Henry, for
Yeah.
sure, actually
Yes.
like say very interesting things. They're
He
like the
did.
only two characters who do.
Yeah.
But there was one more child thing before we move on from that.
Okay.
Which was when she goes to heal the descendant child, like when she's breaking into that guy's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she doesn't break in, but she's going on her first, like.
Right. It's the first mission, and you find out they had poisoned the child so she could go in.
Yes, and get access to the house.
Into the
and
arms
she's talking
dealer's
to that
house.
child who I think they said was 5 years old or 6 years
Yeah.
old. It was
5
around
or
there.
6. She was young.
5 or
Now
6.
she was young.
She was young, but the DM is like, "Oh, who gave you these flowers?" what did they look like? And then DM has this thought, she's never seen brown eyes. She's not going to be able to describe what the eye color's like. And I was like, the girl's 6. She knows colors. My daughter, who's 7, so similar age, if she saw someone with pink eyes, she's never seen someone with pink eyes before. She'd be able to say, wow, it was weird. They had pink eyes. In fact,
Yeah,
she would
yeah,
notice it more. So the fact that
sure.
she was acting like a 5-year-old, like wouldn't know her colors,
Hmm.
like I just, I got so mad at that.
It was weird, right? Like the young character was not given enough agency. The older character was given hardly like a brain at all. But
It
she
was just
was
like, it was
injured.
just, I don't think maybe she's been around a lot of children. Like, I'm trying
I
not to be too harsh,
guess.
but I think legitimately it might just be like, I am growing up, I didn't like children. And I actually still don't really. I love my own. I'm just, I'm not like someone who, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, oh, a
I do.
baby.
I
That's
totally,
just
I completely get it. I completely get it. Yes.
like, I love my own children, but I
Yes.
didn't love kids. So there was a time in my early adulthood where like I had never babysat. I was not interested in that. I could see myself writing something like that because I literally just had no experience with children.
Sure.
But it was just like, did nobody read that and say that? Like, she has editors, she has beta
Well,
readers. Like, nobody noticed that.
is this like I got my copy at like Barnes and Noble. I'm assuming
Me
this
too.
is
And it
like
has
a
like painted edges.
yeah, like this is not a self pub. This is not an indie thing.
Oh, no,
Like
no. I
I'm
actually
sure.
looked up, it has like 300,000 reviews,
Yeah, like this
rated
is a big
4.2.
yes. I'm feeling that it's should have a team of editors. Absolutely correct.
So it was just like nobody wanted to be like, oh, hey, you probably just haven't been around a lot of children. That's really
Yeah,
a weird thing to say to a 17-year-old. Like, I don't, like, I
doesn't have
don't
worms in
know.
it. Who are you? Where
That's
did you
petty
come
though.
from?
Like that didn't affect my rating. It was just one of those things where I was just like, that was weird.
But I look overall characterization and dialogue sometimes were not my favorite part of the book
Yeah. So
because
for you, John, it was just like you're interested in the world. So you want to know more about the world. Is
I
that where
want to
we
know
are?
more about this world. I look. We all knew she was descended.
Oh yeah. I mean, from
We all
page
knew her
one.
mom. We all knew her mom is doping her to keep her powers down. We all know her mom is. By the end, we know her mom has gone on this trek. It's like she's kind of like pulling the strings for this whole thing. Like there is part of the plot in the story that I want to know more about, and I want to find out what's going on there. But I also really am interested in to journey all the way around this ring world and uncover all the secrets of it and the ideas of this civil unrest that's been layered on top of the society through no act of their own. Basically, it's kind of an interesting look at faith-based colonization. It's
Mm.
there's some interesting concepts that make me want to go, yeah, man, I kind of want to see what happens there. Like I really do. She's got some really, as far as concept, world building, plot, and ideas go, she's got some really good ones that make me go, yeah, all right, I'm in on that. I would like to see what happens.
I feel like I could be with you on wanting to see what happens if I literally didn't hate DM as much as I do.
I
Like, I'm not
really,
sure I've ever hated a character as much. And so the thought of going back into her brain,
yeah, I know. But now, okay, here's the thing. She had the whole push me, pull you thing through what side she's going to be on, right?
yeah.
She's gone through that. She's gone through her trial by fire. Now she's wearing this crown of shadows. She's going to be responsible for these people. She's going to have to start growing up and having agency and bringing about the change that she sees and understanding a morality that she is willing to draw a line and stand by. So I'm hoping we start to see an arc and a character journey that from these beginnings of her being a wishy-washy character that can't stand for anything and is just whoever in front of her wants her to be, right? Oh, sure, I'll be a revolutionary. Oh, I'll be a healer. Maybe I'll be a wife. I can't tell you no because I have no spine. I mean, it's over and over again. I, I think this was all laid down at the beginning here to show change down the road. I'm sure Penn Cole has that planned.
You should definitely read book 2 and tell me. Like maybe just like I'm thinking like if you read book 2, John, and you were like, DM goes through a ton of character growth and she doesn't have a sassy quip every time someone talks to her in place of a personality,
Oh no, she's
then
gonna have a
maybe
sassy
I'd
quip.
think about it.
She's
Because like
she's
a lot of times, this happens a lot in YA and particularly, like sassy is put there because they don't give their character a personality. And like
yeah.
you're talking about wishy-washiness, which again, I can be an interesting flaw, but to me it was just like, well, she's sassy, so she's someone to look up to. And it's
Yeah.
like I I would not be friends with this girl. She'd be
I
exhausting to
wouldn't
be friends with.
again where it hit, and I actually wrote a note down.
You
Like
think it's purposeful. That's where we
I
differ, I
do.
think. I think that's
I
our
wrote a
big
note
difference.
down, and I even wrote a note. I like DM. I like Penn Cole having the guts to make the main protagonist unlikable, and I was kind of in.
Okay. I
I
don't
was
think
there
she
at the
thinks
beginning.
I don't think Penn Cole thinks DM is unlikable.
She had Bookborn. She has to know.
You think she
I
has to know?
I have to think the best of people.
Because I
There's
think
no.
because that's where this 1 star comes from. Like
Okay.
literally that's where it comes from because I am convinced I'm supposed to like DM. And if Penn Cole came to me in my face and goes, "Oh no, she's the worst person ever," and I made it purposefully, I would raise my rating.
Okay. Here's what I think that would happen. I'm gonna put Penn Cole up
Everyone
on.
vote in the comments below if you've read this book. Was it purposeful or not?
But I really liked her being an unlikable main protagonist. And then we got to the point where even as a healer, she had nothing inside herself that would allow herself to not even have the starch in her spine that her trainee had. Like her
Mm-hmm.
trainee wouldn't cross those lines, and DM would. DM was manipulated by Henry and the other revolutionaries to where she would cross that line. And it's like, I'm sorry, your main protagonist, who you're following, I would like to see at least enough to where if one life matters, they all matter. And I'm not going to cross a line to this point. I mean, she gets there at the end when she runs across the town and fights the revolutionaries to get to the fire and try and save some people and help some people because she knows she caused it because she crossed that line. And I think it needed to be massaged in a way character wise for me that she understood if I'm working to save these lives, then if life matters, then they all matter.
Mm.
And that's got to be the fire and the yang to the yin of Henry's argument.
Yes, and I agree. I think that's just such a hard argument to make right now because of
Well,
how
she has no
oppressive
moral
it's
standing
been.
to make it. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
she
that
can't.
too. That too. I That's so interesting. I truly think we were supposed to be on DM's side.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think my books 2 and 3 we are. I
Because
think
she'll
we're supposed to.
change.
I think we're
Hey
supposed to
John, you
see.
need to read books 2 and 3. Come report to me if she ever changes.
You can't throw me in the deep end and make me read them by myself.
You gave it a 3.5, man. I'm not willingly going to go to book 2 when I give a book 1 star.
Look, Bookborn. I'm saying for the concepts and the ideas, I've stated it before. 1 star is low.
I'm, I'm sorry. Here's the thing though. You've convinced me of this. What you've convinced me of is like that there's maybe a chance I was supposed to dislike DM. If I was
Yeah.
supposed to dislike DM, I'd probably raise it to a 2 star.
Okay, so if you'd raise it to a 2 star there, okay.
You're not giving me
agree-
any higher than a 2, John.
I th-
That's
but
already
I think
so generous.
I think you would agree with me that there's more things going on here as far as world building and
Yes.
some interesting.
But I mean, you're still interested even though it's trite. She's the most powerful one. She's the queen, the king prince who's secretly a softie but hard on the outside is just madly in love with her. And
But wait, you're selling yourself here because she is a great swords person because she was taught by her father, right?
no, not the swords person. I'm talking about
wait.
she gets
She's
she's
so
the most
overpowered.
magical.
She is. such a powerful descendant that she's given the crown at the end, right? She's been taking these drugs the whole time to tamp her power down. So she's the most powerful descendant. She's a great swords person. She's quite sassy, as you've said before. So how are we going to juxtapose that? We have to make her intellectually and emotionally somewhat stunted, sheltered, and protected,
Mhm.
so she has somewhere to go. So this is all a plan. I'm telling you. It's working against all of that overpowered stuff that you're listing now.
Okay. I do not think that's what you're going to get if you read book 2. But I love how optimistic you are. I love that you believe that.
I'm sold. I am complete. I'm really intrigued by this world. I'm really intrigued by the deities that came down. I'm really intrigued by this level
Here's a
of
question.
colonialism that they did
Is
to
she a
change the world.
descendant or is she a hidden baby of a descendant and immortal?
I'm not sure. She
Because
might
I
be
guess
more than descended.
she'd have to be, right? Because if she was, it would be diluted otherwise. She
Right.
wouldn't be the most powerful. Interesting.
Or or this law of wiping out the children of descended is to hide the fact that they could be even more powerful than the descended and they could be pushed back on.
Oh, I like that.
Because we've
Mm.
seen propaganda used over and over, so we don't. I'm telling you, there's interesting things to come.
Yeah, I'll read like a Wikipedia summary. See what I've actually done. That's like something I've done in the past. Like I've read a book that I've hated, but been like, well, what's going to happen? And I'll just Wikipedia it. And almost every time I'm like, wow, I made the right choice.
I, I just
I was,
I'm feeling like I got you up to a 2 and I got you willing
wait,
to
no, no,
read
no,
the
no, no, no.
Wikipedia.
You got me up to a 2 if you can find Penn Cole to come and tell me to my face that it was purposeful to make DM the worst human being alive.
Okay, I'm on it.
So you gotta message her because I'm sure she has
I'm
time to talk to me.
I'm calling her tonight.
Or if you read book 2 and told me she went through character growth, I would also accept that. But currently we're still at a 1 star until
Okay,
proven otherwise.
I got you to a possible 2
Yeah.
and you read a Wikipedia. So that's better than where you started.
It is better than where I started. So you get a gold star, John.
Okay. All right. That's all I want.
I think, do you have anything else in your notes? I think that's like mostly my big things.
I think that
We've
was
covered
mostly
mine.
my big stuff. I think it's a 3.5. I enjoyed the book. Like I think this is the first of the series. I think she looks quite young, the picture on the back of the book. So I
Yeah.
think this could be her first book, period. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I actually don't know. I think I'm trying to decide. I think this might have started self-published and then got picked up. I can't remember though.
I'm not sure either.
I forget which because they've been doing that a lot now. I guess the question is, did it make you more or less likely to pick up another romantasy?
It made me more likely
Okay, that's good.
because what I found that I really like, the concepts, the ideas, um, that can happen over and over again. I loved the reflective quality that I saw of some societal ills. I loved the inventiveness of the world. So, and I think, I'm a softie at heart. Like if the heat would have worked for me, it would have been even better. But I just didn't feel that heat with Luther and Diem. But man, I'm telling you, I read 6, 8, 10, 12 of those angel books. I can't even remember how many. Like I could absolutely fall back down that rabbit hole for
Of doing it.
not even needing that much of a push.
I mean, it's interesting because I actually just finished reading out loud Ella Enchanted to my daughter today by Gail Carson Levine. I don't know if you've ever read that book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I loved that book as a kid. And I haven't read it in a really long time, but I'm reading it to
It's
my
been a long
daughter. And
time.
I'm like, romance is a big plot of this novel too.
Sure.
I mean, it's a Cinderella retelling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking maybe that's the first it started. I think for me, I'd love to know if people are watching this that are huge romantasy readers. I think when I think of any romance that worked in a book for me, not like romantasy, but just romances I root for, because I rarely root for romances, even in my fantasy. Like I usually dislike a lot of them as well.
Okay, what are some that have worked though? Like there have to be
Yeah, so
some.
that's what I'm trying to think. And I'm like, okay, there was a romance I was super rooting for in Live Ships. I'm not going to say what it was,
Okay, okay, I
but
haven't
there was
read
a
that yet.
romance I was really rooting for there. Warbreaker, a romance in Warbreaker, I actually really rooted for.
Me too.
Um, and as I'm thinking of like El Enchanted, I love, and as I'm looking at these books and Greenbone Saga, I rooted for a romance in there. You read
Oh,
Greenbone?
I did. Are you talking about during Jade War? Because I
Oh
really
no,
rooted for.
I'll say this one because it's never a secret. But I really love watching Wen and Hilo's relationship. Like I was rooting for them. They had a lot of ups and downs, and I was
Yeah,
rooting for them. I for me, it's all about like character work. Like I love to see people really connect on like an intellectual or an emotional or some level. And like all those books, I intrinsically knew why these people were attracted to each other beyond something physical. Like
sure.
books where it's just immediately physical love at first sight really tend to not interest me a whole lot.
I think that that's such a secret. That's such a key, right? Like when I
Mm-hmm.
think about Warbreaker, and I think about, and again, I don't want to do spoilers, but when I think about the one I rooted for, and that's all
Yeah.
that's all I'll say. Like there was like this
There was
Scheherazade
genuinely
aspect to
spark
it.
between them.
Yeah, but it was this Scheherazade aspect to it where there was stories in the evening, and there was a moment, and there
Yeah.
were moments, and there was growth, and there was
Mm-hmm.
it started here and it got to here, as opposed to
Yeah.
just he touched my elbow and I'm on fire. Like what?
Yes,
How does
and
that
I
work?
find that the romances I like usually do have to go through that stuff. Like I
Yeah.
want to see them grow. I want to understand like I know exactly what you see in her or what you see in the partner and what you see in the other person and that's why I'm rooting for you. And I think that's probably in there in Romantasy. And I just need someone to tell me where it is because I think a lot of the currently popular romantasy or like the trope that's popular right now is kind of more of that mysterious insta love. I think
Hmm.
a lot of the popular stuff, and I think it's just like anything in fantasy, that's just the current trend. Like
Yeah.
you take romance out of it, and there's plenty of books that are like, oh, well, that's just the trend right now. And so I wonder if like older romances or like where was the trend, what era
Hmm.
that gives me like deep character connection.
I will have to find them. Like
Oh,
I
because
know in
the
my
reason I brought up
own.
Ella Enchanted, sorry, the reason I brought that up is
Yeah.
in that retelling, her and the prince are friends the whole novel. That's the
Hmm.
difference between the Cinderella story. Like one of the big differences is they write letters back and forth for like 6 months, and they really knew each other. And then there's drama, and that's why they have to meet at the ball, and it's secret or whatever. It's a
Right.
great book, guys. I'm just saying, if you have a
It's Harry
kid,
Met
I just
Sally.
oh yeah, like Harry Met Sally. It's like there's there's a emotional depth to the relationship is something that I feel like I really need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
And
missing here.
I think even for me, and tell me if you're the same way. I bet you are. Like even that love at first sight thing, it's not just physical. Like it's not just
Mm-mm.
oh my god, the hotness coming off them. It's like I mean, for me, first sight was we were cast and we were reading a show, and it's like oh my, she's so talented that it
Mm-hmm.
just blew my hair back. It just knocked my socks off, and it was what she could bring to the stage. It's how she could interpret this text. It's how she could embody this character. That it there's more than just that, than just the smoking hotness. Has to be.
Completely. And it's like I always say, one of the things that I first noticed about Zach was how positive he was and how inclusive he was and how much of a cheerleader he was to everybody. And like
Yeah.
that was an attractive quality. It's like obviously you're gonna notice how someone looks. That's like the first spark of interest. But usually there's something like, oh, they're really smart, they're really talented, they have this thing, and that's what makes you want to get to know them.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's what the first sight is when you get that. When
Yeah.
you get that. And I
And
didn't
and
get
that's
that from this.
no, it's wow, someone was really mean to me. Like I just never had
Yeah,
that happen. Maybe we're doing it wrong, John. But
this
like I
guy's a
guess,
real jerk.
we've both been married for a long time, so maybe we did okay.
You know what? I'm gonna say we did great. I have met Zach. You did amazing, and so did
Um
he.
I'm not sad about it, and how long have you guys been married?
We're coming up next. Well, this year will be 29, so next year will be the
9
big
years.
30.
I'm
Yeah.
saying. And I think Zach and I are on 14. So, I think I'm just saying we come from like a little bit of something to say. We've got a little bit to say about it.
You would, hey, you would think so. I would listen to us.
So yeah, I think
Maybe
like
you and
I'm
me need to
convinced
write a
there's a
romantasy.
romantasy out there for me. It wasn't this one, but
Okay,
I'm convinced there's one.
I'm convinced there's one.
And
I
it's not
think
book two of this.
I think the comments are going to light up with. Book two is. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. I think the comments are going to light up with a lot of recommendations.
I know, and it's going to be hard to sort through them.
Yeah,
It's almost like maybe I need to go find the low-rated romantasy. Like, what's the one that everyone else is rating like 2 stars because it's too slow and there aren't enough of the fun things? And it's like, oh, this is the one for me.
yeah. I don't know. Should we do? Let me just say, should we do a romantasy book club? Should we try again?
I think we should try again, John. I'm
Okay.
willing to try again with you because I really want to work. Now, the question is, do we take a recommendation that someone says
I think
and
we have
find a
to
good
take a
one,
recommendation.
or do we need to
Like,
try one of the most popular romantasies? Maybe we do both at some point.
okay, I would say we take recommendations because
Okay.
if these amazing people listen to us go on for an hour about this book, we should listen to. They've listened to
Okay,
us.
fair.
We should listen to what
Fair.
they say. What they say we should try.
Okay, so I'm going to say this, John. You get to decide the next one.
Okay, you go through the
From
comments.
recommendations, but you get to pick the recommendation you think sounds best because I picked this one.
Okay, so you give me like a 5 from comments
Oh,
that
okay,
come in,
okay. I will give you 5 from comments, and then you pick the one
and
we
then
read.
I'll pick the next one.
Okay, so guys,
And
if you made it this far listening to us, it is now your turn. You give us the romantasy that will convince John and I to be romantasy readers. What's the romantasy that will get a 4-star or above from both of us?
I'm easier. I was almost there with this.
John, don't even worry about
Yeah,
John.
don't even worry
What
about me.
book am I going to give 4 stars? Now, the best actually would be hilarious if we can get a book where I give it 4 stars and you give it 1. Will that ever
That would
happen?
never happen.
I don't think it ever would. I'm the problem.
No, you're a
Okay.
true discerning reader that knows what you like.
I'm a hater, I think is what people call me.
No.
I think we should do that. And if you're willing this year, I think we should also choose one of the most popular ones, whether that's a court of whatever and whatever, or Fourth Wing.
Okay, let me pick the next one, and
then
then
we'll decide from there.
we'll decide from there. It might be back in your court, and you can pick between those two.
Because I think that's like where I feel like a while ago I tried to keep up on fantasy, I want to be in the know. And I feel like
Yeah.
we're kind of not in the know if we haven't read one of those.
You know what? You're absolutely right. They're wildly
Yeah.
popular. They're probably hitting the pulse for a reason. There has to be a reason. They have to be enjoyable.
Well, and it's bringing a lot of people back into fantasy. Like I know a lot of my friends who read fantasy as a kid and then not as an adult. They read that and loved it, and now are just like full blown. I mean, they love romantasy, but they love all fantasy. So it's like it's bringing so many people into the genre. I need to understand it, maybe.
Sure, and I love that. There's nothing good or bad to read. There's only reading. You have to read what brings you joy at this moment. Is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi? Is it nonfiction? Whatever it is that brings you joy and gets you involved in the story and art that allows you to share this human experience that we're all having. There is no good or bad. It's just what's hitting you at the moment. So I agree. We should absolutely see what's hitting people.
See what's doing it. Okay, well, you heard it here first, guys. I guess Romantasy Book Club. We're gonna read a couple more this year. You heard it here first. um,
And you're going to
you know
give
what?
book 2 a try.
I will give book 2 a try, John, if you read it first and swear to me that DM is not continually the worst human being you've ever met.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
You see what you can do there.
I'll see what I can do.
You know, since you just said that, I have a fun question to end that really has nothing to do with Romantasy. But what's the last book you read that just knocked your socks off? You're just talking about like, you know, the thing that really just brought you joy. What's the last book you read?
It was a reread, and I rarely ever do rereads, and I've done a couple this year already, and it's February, so it's really unusual for me. But there's 2, and they're both rereads, and it's astounding. I reread Boy's Life with my own son, and I read it for the first time when I was like his age, 25 or somewhere in there. And I reread Boy's Life by Robert McCammon with him, and we kept reading vlogs and we hid them from each other. And then when we finished the books, we shared our vlogs, and it was just like the most amazing experience.
And he's one of your favorite authors, right?
Oh, Robert
Of all
McCammon
time.
is one of my all-time favorite authors. Yeah. And it's that book is it's everything. Right. And then I just reread, and this was like a fantasy that I was reading when they were first coming out in the late 80s, early 90s. And my mom would take me to the bookstore. I'd get a friend to take me to the bookstore, and I would pick up Raymond E. Feist Rift War books.
Mm,
And I just, I got in with Mike on a read along to reread these. And it's how some people feel about Wheel of Time, because it was their gateway. And
yeah.
this was kind of mine, that I can remember when I was young. I was high school, not that much younger, but and all the magic is still there. All the wonder is still there. And now I'm able to see, oh my gosh, so much of these concepts and ideas and movements that are happening here have really impacted going forward. And I've just had I finished it today. I finished the second one, Magician Master, and it was just so fun to revisit. It was just all adventure, all the feels, all nostalgia. It was just great.
You know, reading stuff with your children again,
Ugh.
there's nothing better. Like that's why I force my kids to let me read out loud these chapter books to them, even though they both are very good readers, because being able to experience the emotion again with another person, it feels like getting to read it again for the first time.
Yeah.
It's the closest at least I've gone to being able to feel like reading favorite books for the first time again, is being able to share them with your
Yes,
kids.
because you
Yeah.
do get to read it for the first time. You get to experience it through someone else, and
Yeah.
someone that is so incredibly important to you. And you sharing that love is going to impact them, and the ripples of the pond will only spread outward as they move forward in life. It's true magic.
I mean, it really is. Those sound great. I need to get to both of those. I haven't read either of those authors yet.
Bookboard. I don't know if you would like Boy's Life or not. I don't know. But I think you would appreciate him as an author. What he
Yeah, and
can
I
do.
could find the right one to read. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At some point. But okay, there you have it. Those are recommendations for everybody. 2 5-star rereads from John. I don't know if they're 5 stars. You don't really do stars, but I'll just attach that.
Yeah. That's fair. Sure. If they're not, they're very close. I mean, Boy's Life, I think, is top 5 all time for me. So it's got to be.
Yeah, well then for sure it's 5 stars if it's top 5.
It might be the best example of magical realism I think I've ever read.
You've said that about that book before. I know I've heard you say that because I'm a huge magical realism fan, so that's why I was like super interested. I'll
It's
get back to it eventually.
It's that tightrope when you're a young person, and is this happening, or is this just how the world seems? And it's just done so.
My favorite
so
kind of
beautifully.
magical realism.
Yeah, I think you might really love it.
If I read it and I don't love it, I just won't tell you.
There you go.
That's the safe way.
Absolutely.
Thank you for reading this with me and apparently being willing to read other Romantasy with me.
I gotta tell you, this is so much fun. This is everything that I started a channel for. Thanks for doing this with me. Thanks for inviting me. It was great. I've been looking forward to this all week.
And I have too. I've been really excited. I was like taking notes, and I hope everyone else who's joining us, whether you are a hater like me, a happy person like John, a romantasy lover, whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about it. I'd love to know if you loved this book. Tell us what you think, especially about DM. You tell me if maybe someone who's like a major fan of Penn Cole could give us some insight, like if they've seen
Yes.
blog posts or whatever. Um, Give us the recommendation. What is the romantasy that's deeply character focused and or it doesn't necessarily have to be character focused, but the romance is about like a emotional intellectual connection.
There you go. There you go. Not just the heat,
um
not just the
Not
physical
just the
heat.
heat. Give us something more. If have you seen The Holiday, John?
No.
What?
The Holiday?
The Christmas movie The Holiday
I
with
don't
Jack Black?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Are
Okay.
you going to start saying things are classics when they're like,
Okay, well, that's bringing in a whole nother conversation. I will say The Holiday is a classic, John. Okay? I don't know what to
I'm
tell
looking
you.
it up right now. There's no way this is a
Um,
classic.
The Holiday is a millennial classic. Okay? A millennial classic holiday movie. Great. Okay, let's wind up. You now have three things to comment on, commenters. If you've read Spark of the Everflame, tell us your opinion. Give us the next romance read. Three, weigh in. Is The Holiday a Christmas millennial classic?
You can't. I just looked it up. Cameron Diaz is in it. There's
Look,
Jack Black and Cameron Diaz do not a classic make.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, John. You don't have to understand this, but my followers who all have definitely watched The Holiday, except probably not because my male to female ratio is dastardly on my channel. Um, we want more Jack Black and Kate Winslet storyline in there, and less Cameron Diaz, uh, whoever that other hot guy is. This
Okay,
is
wait a
crazy. I
minute.
don't remember his
Kate
name.
Winslet's in this?
Yeah, Kate Winslet's in this. Oh, is it suddenly a classic because
It
Kate
could
Winslet's
possibly
in
be
it,
a
John?
classic. You could possibly.
Okay.
You're speaking my language now. It could possibly be a classic.
Well, more their storyline, less the other one.
All right.
And that will make sense to cool people in my comment section. Thanks for joining me. We're ending on that note. Thank you, everybody, if you made it this far. Thank you for joining us. And I guess we'll catch you on the next Romantasy Buddy Read. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, nerds, what's up? I am. Were you not ready for that, John?
I didn't know it was coming.
Sorry. Okay, we'll start over.
Okay,